Good morning, Maryland fans. Last night was last night. Everybody's woken up. Everybody has their reaction. I just actually just sat down, watched the whole film. You gotta, like yesterday when I made the actual reaction right after the game. In fact, I started that reaction while the game was still going on. I left early to beat traffic. I got to Virginia, not too far away from College Park, Alexandria. Got back in the house and I immediately went, because everything was still fresh in my mind, emotions. I just basically everything I posted yesterday in that initial reaction from the Iowa game was literally raw. It was like what I felt. I came home, just grabbed a couple of buns, smoking, just stressed, angry. I think I left was like 7 minutes, 8 minutes left in the ball game, and I got in the house, and there was still time left when I came home with Iowa's basically backups in there on offense. But this is my actual reaction after watching the film. I'm gonna give you guys the major. Actually, to be honest with you guys, when I watched the film, we actually look a lot better than I thought he was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a very horrible film, but it really is not. Like, guys, I'm trying to tell you guys, like, last night, Iowa beat us in like little things, but there are times when they beat us repeatedly in those little things, and that's the issue I have. When you watch film, that's the issue I have with it. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if coaches are now understanding and they're not seeing this shit on the sidelines. That they're now on their iPads where they can watch replay of what happened to us on a certain play. And or maybe it's just the translation between the communication between the coaching staff and the kids. It's not working because for the things I saw yesterday to keep happening over and over and over was just a horrible sign if it keeps happening, especially with against seems like Ohio State and some of the competition coming up. Because those coaching staff, I guarantee you, will make sure they see if we fix these issues next week. All right? I guarantee you. That's what a good coaching staff does. If they see something, they see a hole, they're trying to make it a fucking leak. And when it becomes a leak, they want to turn it into a fucking fountain. Like, they just want to keep poking at it till it becomes absolutely massive. So that's the issue yesterday. I'm going to mention all those things. First off, number one, special teams. Ron Zook has to get fired. Like, I'm going to try my best not to do overreactions because sometimes after an emotional high like that, again, when you came in, you actually feel like you can compete and you actually believe your athletes can compete. And I still believe that. I think Maryland has one of the better athletic teams in the Big Ten and sneaky athletic teams. And yesterday, we didn't lose because of athletically. Iowa didn't beat us athletically. Iowa beat us with scheme, with coaching, discipline, and execution. 4 things that Maryland, quite frankly, have shown they lack in big moments, in big games. I'm going to talk about them. Execution, discipline, coaching, and scheme. All right, guys? You win big-time fucking ball games in those 4 areas, guys. Execution, coaching, discipline, scheme. Maryland, we got fucked in all those 4 areas yesterday. Usually there are teams, you can compete sometimes if you win 2 of those areas. But yesterday, we didn't just compete in none of those areas. We got fucked in all those areas. We got fucked in execution. Iowa out executors on every fucking play, it seems like, especially on every key fucking play. 3rd down, 2nd and longs, like just big momentous plays. Red zone, execution, scheme. Iowa out-schemed the fuck out of us yesterday on defense. Our young defense was so confused on so many plays, which I don't fucking understand. You came into the ball game knowing damn well you cannot let that tight end Laporta go off. We'll allow it to happen. And then I told you guys that the running back been struggling running the football. That we need to be careful because last week against Colorado State, he's starting to show signs that he's coming out of the backfield to catch. What do? We allow him to almost go for 100 yards receiving. And don't even get me started on discipline. Discipline in the red zone. Third is time. You get a team on 3rd and long in the red zone. 3rd and goal, a long goal. 3rd and goal, a long 3rd and goal, and we committed a stupid penalty after the play. By a senior, 95, Terps Rogers, committed a penalty. I will get a first down. Then they're going to sneak it in on 2nd down and score. I'm in fair now. 2nd and 26. I will overthrow a pass. It's 3rd and 26. You go and hit the quarterback on his knees. The ball is at Iowa 48-yard line. It's about to be 3rd and 26 with the ball at Iowa 48-yard line. You hit the quarterback on his knees. Iowa get a first down on that side of the field. They're going to score a touchdown. It's 24-7. Ball game. Discipline. Taulia staring guys down against a quality opponent, which I'm sure the staff didn't taught them. Throwing into double coverage, sometimes even triple coverage. I don't understand what you was doing, bro. If it's 3 guys and 1 man, somebody's open. The way we skim things up, which brought me back to skim. But all these things will get discussed. All these things I'm going to discuss, guys. I have to talk about it. But again, I don't want to make any overreactions. But again, fucking special team is our biggest issue. All right, guys? Discipline is absolutely, discipline, penalties and all that is absolutely number 1. Yes. But when it comes to like the things that I've seen an issue all fucking season long, our special team is absolutely one of the worst. And I don't even want to blame the kids. I really think it's just one of the worst coach schemed special team units in the fucking country. It's absolutely look like Pee-wee scheme. When literally a coach just tell you, run down and tackle the guy. No scheming, just run down and tackle. And you have kids running. Sometimes we even trip each other. Maryland special team players. They literally run down the field and smack each other. I don't even understand, bro. What are we doing, son? What kind of scheme are we running on special team, bro? That literally kids will run and tackle each other instead of tackling the ball carrier. I literally see Maryland players come down special team and collide while the guy who actually got the fucking ball is out there running around. It's like, what the fuck are these niggas doing over there, son? What is going on with that fucking schemes, bro? Ron Zook, get this nigga out of College Park, bro. I've said it from the beginning of the year. He's the worst X's and O's coach in the country. He's the worst. Everybody knows Ron Zook know nothing about X's and O's. He's a salesman. We don't fucking need him, bro. Our staff is full of recruiters. Why the fuck do we need Ron Zook on this staff? Loxley, it's about it's gonna get time when Loxley is gonna start facing the hard question about his staff, and it's coming. A lot of people won't overreact right now, but this fucking Washington Post reporters, Emily and you guys need to start asking these tough questions to this guy. What is exactly the benefit of having Ron Zook on our staff? It's 0. He doesn't help us in recruiting. That's all he's good for. The guy is useless. Our special team kids look like literally, I can go down to Maryland Heat, the under 13 pop running football team, and locally here, and I can guarantee you I'll see better special team fucking being taught than what I saw last night and all fucking season for my guys. Our kids have no chance. I've never seen teams lack respect, like other opponents lack respect for our special team. Yesterday, I saw Iowa punt returner on a number of plays where Maryland kicked the ball right to him. And he literally there's 2 or 3 Maryland players running right at his neck. And the dude still catch the ball. No field catch. It still catch the ball and return it. And what's more infuriating was the fact that a guy see 3 of you coming down at his neck and he still have the balls to catch it. And then you guys know, sometimes we don't even trust the guy. Like, how? How you get 3 free runners out of fucking punt returner and none of y'all even bring him down, let alone touch him? Ron Zook, get out of town, bro. Ron Zook got to go. That's the number 1 reaction. That's the number 1 thing I got out of that game. Ranzuk has to go. He has to go. And I guarantee you now, I'm calling it right now, Maryland will give up at least 4 punt return touchdowns / kick return touchdowns by the end of the season if that guy don't leave. If he doesn't leave soon, we're going to give up at least 4 returns touchdowns by the end of the year. I ain't counting whatever we've done. I'm talking about from now on to the end of the season, however many games we have left, we're going to give up at least 4 going forward. That's how poorly coached our special team unit is. It's horrible. It's bad to watch when you flick the film, guys. It's horrible. It's bad to watch. And even some of the NBC, some of the play-by-play guys yesterday, the dudes on the TV, kept mentioning how awful Maryland special team is. We're awful. It's bad to watch. Coaching. Major problem I have with coaching, guys. We came in the ball game with Tayon Fleet Davis, who was basically second and third in the conference in yards per carry at over 7 yards a game, over 7 yards per carry. That's what we came into the ball game with. But you know why Tayon Fleet is not one of the leading conference in rushers, even though he's one of the leaders in yards per carry? Because we don't fucking feed the guy enough. We're falling in love with Taulia's arm too fucking soon in these ball games and too much. There's no way we think that coming to a team like Iowa just going to let him stand there and throw the ball 60 times, and you don't expect us to turn the ball over at least 3-4 times. Maryland has to learn, just because you have a great toy in your hands, it don't mean you abuse the motherfucker. Run the football. We need to rely on Tayon Fleet a lot motherfucking more going forward. This coaching staff absolutely ticked me off yesterday. It's like we came out with the goal of making Taulia a Heisman candidate. That's literally what I got out of the game plan yesterday. We came out with the intent, let's make Taulia a Heisman candidate. Motherfucking you, motherfuckers. What is this coaching staff doing? They didn't help the kid at all. They put that kid Taulia in harm's way with the play calls they were calling, because you keep sending out 4-5 receiver sets out there when a team is dropping 8-9 DBs. Nigga, you're not helping the kid, bro. Run the football. Run the football. People think sometimes running the ball, you're taking the ball away from your quarterback. No. Sometimes running the ball, you're actually helping your quarterback. Maryland did no favors to that kid yesterday. Now, he did himself no favors with the stare down, with the way he was staring down his throws and throwing into triple and double coverage. That don't help. But his coaching staff did him no favors yesterday. A good coaching staff, and that kid got to leave yesterday, maximum 3 picks. Maximum 2-3 picks he would have thrown yesterday. A better coaching staff would have kept him, would have saved him at least 2-3 picks yesterday. Maryland didn't do that. We didn't run the ball. We should have ran the ball. At least 2 of his 5 picks yesterday were tip passes. And you know why they were tipped? Because their linebackers have zero respect for our running game. Every a run fake action we ran, the linebackers never came down. We didn't run the ball. We need to run the ball going forward, especially going forward with the teams we're about to play. We have to run the ball at least 20 to 30 times going forward. I don't give a fuck how amazing Taulia's arm is. He just show you his decision making is still lacking. We have to run the football going forward. That has to be our thing. We have to run the football 20 to 30 times going forward. That's why I have a problem with coaching. We didn't help our quarterback, and we failed to make adjustments on defense all game long. All game long. What else did I mention? I mentioned discipline, execution. Execution is basically first drive of the game. A chance for us with the whole crowd in our back, the whole state pumped up, the whole university up and rowdy. We'll get the ball first, which is a brilliant strategy, because had we gone down and scored a touchdown in that first drive, Iowa have literally, that whole place would have went on fire. But what do? Initial play, first down to Demas. Came back on another first down. We throw the ball to Demas again, 2nd and 6. And then we run the ball to our running back, Jacobs. He gains like 3 yards, 3rd and 1. Third and one, instead of just running the ball, power up. Again, not relying on the run enough. Instead, we're trying to be cute. We play action, Taulia roll out. Demons is wide open on the outside route, corner route. Wide open. Taulia overthrow him just barely. Game of inches, guys. In this kind of massive games, it's a game of inches. We get that first down, or he made an accurate pass. Demons probably could have took off running the sidelines for another 10, 15 yards. Guys, we get a touchdown there to a whole different ball game. Execution. And then come back, fast forward to he missed that. Now it's 4th and 1. We have the ball at the 48-yard line. We about to go for it on 4th down. Good call. What do? Our fucking center jump off sides. He had like 3, 4 of those. Discipline. Like, how you a center and you going false start? Like, I don't even understand. He did it like 3, 4 times when he literally snapped the ball. Nobody moved but him. Like, what are you doing, kid? We all knew center was a problem coming into the season. Let me not act like this is some surprise. This kid is his first year from JUCO, and he's played well for us so far, right? Let me not give him such a hard time, but yesterday was by far his worst game. I think the moments got to him. I think the moment got to a lot of our guys, to be honest. Our youth showed. But execution, discipline, scheme, and coaching didn't help. Those 4 things didn't help. All right? They didn't help. Now, I hope Demons is all right. At worst, I hope he can be healthy enough for the combine and the draft, because I think he has a chance to rise up to the first round. And if he does slip, some team is going to get himself a first round worthy talent in some later rounds. I guarantee you that. And I hope it's the fucking Baltimore Ravens this time. But yeah, guys, that's what the film just shows me. Is like those are our 3 major concerns. It's coaching, scheme, execution, and discipline. We lack, and Iowa whooped us in all those 4 areas yesterday. And as a result, the score is 51-14, even though in a game, when you watch the talent, and I'm watching film, our athletes were basically better than their athletes. We have better athletes than them. But even when they were open, they schemed them open. They couldn't just let their guys just go beat our guys. Every time they were open, they got schemed open. That. If anything else, that gives me confidence that as even opponents starting to realize Maryland got athletes. All right? The few times you're trying to just go out there and be like man to man, go beat your guy, they couldn't do it. They couldn't beat us. Not on the run, not on the pass. They couldn't do it. But when they actually schemed their guys open, man, they were effective massively all game long. On those outside routes they were running, and including those incredible catches they make on the sideline, those were schemed open. Those were schemed call. Even in some of their red zone passing touchdowns, those were all schemed. It was all they were all rub routes. Some of them were illegal, but they did it so good that it just absolutely, I would be mad if a ref called that on us. So I'm not mad at all the ref didn't call it. All right? I would just execute it. That's what I can say about that. That's what if you're going to do a rub route, that's how you're supposed to execute it. And they did it well. If you watch the film, you will know what I'm talking about. They did some outstanding stuff against Maryland in their route concepts. All right? They were doing a lot of rubs, a lot of shitty, borderline illegal shit, but it worked. And you can't get mad at that. Because I wish Maryland would do some shit like that. And that sometimes actually gives me confidence, because usually when teams do that, they do that against teams that know have better athletes against them. So you're trying to scheme your guys just to give them a little bit of a step here and there to get open. And it worked yesterday against Maryland, younger DBs. We will get better. Our linebackers will get better. Our whole team will get better. But this was literally a game that literally, if you put the film and then you look at the final score, you'll be like, that's not what that film tell me. That film did not say 51-14. The film, if anything, the film probably showed me more of a 31-21 ball game. But mistakes, penalties, undiscipline, lack of execution, poor schemes, lack of coaching, adjustment, you add it all up against a talented, disciplined, well-coached, sharp executing football team in Iowa, you get the score you got on prime time. All right? So this is the actual reaction I have for this actual game. Shout out to Iowa fans. You guys have actually been surprisingly very, you guys are, I've been combatant, to be honest. And that only because I give you guys some and I could take it. I can definitely take the heat. Everything I said because I love my Maryland football team. I believe in this team. I believe in this staff. I believe in this roster. I believe in our university. I believe in where we heading. And games like this, sometimes you need this shit. You need this kick in the ass to get where you need to get. And in primetime games, games are lost in key moments, like that early third down to Demas when we miss it, and then we jump in false start in that first drive. We have to punt. We would have scored there. It's a different ball game. Demas' injury, and then he fumbling because he was hurt. And you can't blame him there. That thing looked ugly. Anybody would have said, fuck that ball. Let me just worry about my knee. That's what the kid was worrying about. So him fumbling that 10, that's giving Iowa a lollipop. They went in and scored there. Whole different ball game, 17-7. 17-7, instead of you probably going down and scoring, making it 14-10. So, and then Emmy Fina, 55, roughing the passer Iowa quarterback on his knees on third, when what could have been a third and long. Can't do that. So guys, you lose big time games like this in little key massive moments, and Maryland will learn. And the things that Iowa did to scheme their guys open, I can see other teams. That's what last year when we lost to Rutgers in last game of the year, basically what Rutgers did to us, I saw a lot of the plays Rutgers run, what Iowa did yesterday. See, this is where you got to watch film, guys. You got to study the film. Maryland staff, basically, Rutgers was the last team to really have good success against us. And what did Rutgers did that game was a lot of basically rub routes and rub routes and rub routes and misdirection. Against a young, aggressive, young defense, those things work. And shout out to fucking Iowa staff. That was I said it coming in. If you study enough film, you always gonna find a weakness in every team. Every team. Even Iowa has plenty of weaknesses. But when you turn the ball over to them, they can hide it. They can camouflage those things. They want to show up. And in a 51-14 score, there's no point to mention the weaknesses. They whooped our ass. All right? So you just got to give them credit. All right, guys? So as for Maryland, pick your chin up. Watch the film. Fire the fuck out of Ranzook. Burn that motherfucker out of college back. Or we will burn him. All right? Because he's going to cost us this year if we keep him on staff. Ranzook is useless. He is no good. I've said it forever. He's no good. All right, guys? So fire on Zook and clean up the penalties. That's the thing on the discipline, costly penalties, the third down, the after the play calls. Like it's getting to a point now where I don't want to see a guy who does that again. Like for real. Like it's enough time just patting them in the back, seeing them on the sideline, we grilling them, yelling at them. At this point, these kids should know these things are costly. These things will absolutely ruin your chances to win ball games. And you will end up getting your asses beat on national TV. If kids can't realize what their fuck-ups, their lack of mental mistakes, their lack of mistakes is killing the football team, bench these niggas. All right, guys? I'm tired of talking at this point. Whether they're young or not, bench them. Because if they ain't getting better at this point, it's maybe something there mentally. Let them sit their asses on the bench for the rest of the year. Maybe come next year, they will get better. Or they can get the fuck out of there and transfer. All right? But we don't need knuckleheads, bro. At some point, this discipline issue has to be taken care of. And after an embarrassment like that, there's nothing that can motivate a coaching staff to grill their kids more than after what happened yesterday. But ain't no coaching staff here can point fingers on these kids, because I think the coaches got their asses whooped one by one, from the D-line coach to the linebacker coach to the DB coach to the safety coach. Yesterday, we got them guys all take turn whooping their asses. I was just lining up our coaches. Hey, you come here. Whack, you, come here, whack. They were just whacking all of our fucking coaching staff yesterday. They whooped us in all that area. You got to give them credit, guys. All right? I don't even want to blame the kids too much. I think the moment got to Taulia, he was really thinking about that Heisman hype bullshit talk. I never believed in it. Just focus on winning ball games, guys. That's all I care about. In the end, I think his arm talent will speak for itself, because I really think he has one of the best arms in the entire country. But up here, and it's too competitive. I feel like the kid is too juiced up that sometimes he think he can make any fucking throw. And one thing I know about those kind of quarterbacks, they don't last long. Even in the NFL, they get into trouble. All right, that's what that Denver quarterback was. The dude that went to Vandy, Missouri, forget his name, Drew Luck. Those kids think they can make every throw, but when you get to the NFL, you ain't gonna win, because you're gonna cost your team turnovers. If you turn the ball over, you ain't gonna win ball games. All right. Taulia got to learn that. If you put in your team, you putting the ball in harm's way, you ain't going to beat good teams, period. You ain't, all right? So, and nobody likes a quarterback who turn the ball over. The defense don't like him. Coaches lose jobs like that, so they ain't gonna like you. No one likes it. The fans don't like you because you piss them off. So I need this kid to clean that up, and he will. He will. Otherwise, they're gonna face a very angry Maryland football team. All right, clean up the penalties, take care of the lack of execution part, to focus on the scheming, because we have a young team. You gotta know how we can get hurt, and the only way you can hurt a young team is using the aggression against them with a lot of misdirections and basically delay play calls. Plays when you do like screens, wide receiver screens, just anything like that in the line of scrimmage, just to slow it, to fuck their mind up, to have them look one way and then do something else. Those things will always work against a young, fast, aggressive defense. Maryland will learn going forward that if your man is your tight end, it doesn't matter what kind of eye candy you see in front of you, you make sure that fucking tight end is yours. If that receiver in the flat is your fucking man, it doesn't matter what the fuck Iowa is giving you in the eye candy in the box. You make sure when that receiver make that cut on the outside, you better fucking be there. Those are the type of things sometimes it takes getting whooped on national TV to coach it out of motherfucking kids. Some kids, it's hard to get rid of old habits that they've done that made them become great players while they recruited at the schools. So you got to get your ass whooped on national TV to actually coach shit out of kids sometimes. And I hope Maryland can get it done with our young DBs like Terps still. He did a horrible job yesterday on the standing down and distances. Same thing with Jaco and Bennett. They were in great spots all night. They just didn't understand down and distances. And that's coaching. And they will get better at that, guys, all right? But anyways, guys, shout out to Iowa fans. Shout out, you guys are a lot more calm and sweet. I like to talk to you guys, all right? You guys are being one of the fun fan base I've talked to. And I hope Maryland and Iowa play more, because this was fun. Even though we got whooped on, you guys are a fun fan base, and way more fun compared to the other motherfuckers I've dealt with in this fucking shit. So shout out to Iowa, man. I hope you guys beat the fuck out of Penn State. Fuck them niggas. And I hope you break their quarterback leg. Fuck that nigga. I hope you break all their fucking players' legs. Fuck them niggas. But anyways, you don't know why we hate Penn State around here. All right, beat Penn State. While we have our work cut out for we have our work cut out for us with Ohio State. At Ohio State, all right? But Ohio State is a team with a lot of holes. I'm going to make a preview about them like tomorrow or 2 days from now. But for now, I need a lot of healing after this ball game, because I know our guys are still sore as hell from last night. You guys lick your wounds, watch the film, and get better. And go motherfucking Terps and no one else.